Hello there. Thank you for joining our Youth Force NOLA self-learning module. In this module, we will look at something that adds tremendous value to your soft skill building toolkit, but it is very seldom considered a priority among teachers or program tasks. We're going to look at recognition and meaning making as an active part of building skills. I don't know about you, but I much prefer to complete tasks that I am good at. I much prefer to do things that give me pleasure or joy. And I certainly look forward to doing things that make me feel better about myself. On the flip side of that, I don't know too many people who look forward to and are excited about doing things that they are not good at or that don't make them feel good about themselves. It's part of human nature. And there are even theories that suggest this very idea as a basis for student or youth engagement and even behavior concerns. The thing is, this idea that people get excited about and are more engaged in things that they are good at ends up being a cause of a widening of the achievement gap. Imagine, if you will, two students attempting a set of multiplication problems with very basic and rote feedback, recognition, and meaning-making strategies. Let's say student A gets it, completes all the problems on time and only gets one wrong. They get a big fat A on their paper, a smiley face on their paper, and a high five from their guardian when they share the news. Student B doesn't get it. They struggle to get half the problems done, and they then only get half of these correct. They get a bigger, fatter letter, an F, on their paper. Their guardian doesn't even see the paper because the student is embarrassed, and the teacher's email home includes suggestions like, do more homework, doesn't work fast enough, and no effort. I know that's a lot to swallow, but this is a prime example of how a failure to plan for and create recognition opportunities for all students can just further exacerbate learning problems. So, hopefully now we've identified the value in recognition and meaning making as a tool for skill building. So let's jump in and look at some general strategies for recognition and meaning making. First, recognition. Number one, be consistent. Students recognize fakers 1,000 miles away. If you're going to commit to recognizing students, do it consistently, not just when you are feeling it or when the end of the month is near or something crazy. Number two, be fair. Recognize things which all students can demonstrate. For example, recognize growth versus performance. Recognize effort versus completion. In essence, they can be one and the same, but we know that this ensures that you won't leave out some students who may not get it, but give you everything they have. Number three, be real. Although it is important to reinforce positive behaviors, having recognition moments for things students are supposed to do, like showing up to class on time, being in uniform, not getting in trouble, etc., can end up being patronizing, and you end up not enforcing the things you really are looking for. So save your recognition for things that you want to recognize that go beyond the norms associated by your school or program. Number four, be creative. No matter what the age of your students, a little creativity can go a long way. Think of those culminating units or activities. Those moments could benefit from some special recognition. One of the teachers in our Soft Skills Teacher Fellowship program completed a recognition activity around Valentine's Day last year. Her high school students shared recognition grams to shout out their peers. People like to be recognized. Make it happen. And you wouldn't believe the excitement that these high school students had over what might be considered a little bit of an elementary assignment. It's recognition, and it goes a long way. Next, we're going to talk about meaning-making opportunities. In everything we do in our class or program, we can tie it back to a why in one's life. We can relate being on time to class to the importance of showing up to work on time. We can relate meeting a deadline to paying bills when you become an adult. We can even relate being kind to treating people the way you want to be treated. These are all examples of what I call the low-hanging fruit of meaning-making opportunities. Truthfully, if you're having to use these, chances are there is something greater at play, and a simple meaning-making activity won't really accomplish that. However, meaning-making can go beyond these low-hanging fruit type moments. In thinking about meaning-making opportunities, there are three things to consider. Number one, make it personal. I don't mean like getting on the nerves personal. I mean connecting the content or skills to something you know they will relate to. Get to know your students, and when the moment is right, take advantage of that moment. If you don't know your students, that moment never comes. Making a connection to something that they love and can see themselves doing in the future is one of the premier meaning-making opportunities. The second thing for meaning making that I want to address is self-reflection. And believe me, self-reflection is key. The value in self-reflection and meaning making is immense. When the individual makes the connection to meaning, it is a huge, huge victory. These self-driven moments of meaning making end up being lasting, and they end up being the things that they tell you about later on down the line. The next one is be patient. If you ever wonder, gosh, how many times do I have to do this for it to matter to them? The answer is one more time. There is no magic formula for this, but there are some pretty steady strategies for working with so that you can have a huge impact. So meaning making is boiled down to these three things. Quick recap. Recognition involves being consistent, being fair, being real, and being creative. And at the core of that is recognizing those values that you really hold dear for your students or your program participants. Then for meaning making, you want to make sure that you tie it back to something personal. You want to make sure that you include self-reflection and be patient. This is not something that happens the first day you tell a student about it. So be patient. And that's it. Those are some simple tips for recognition and meaning making. We have some further examples for you to look at, and we're even going to challenge you to create your own recognition and meaning making strategies as you continue in the module. We hope that you'll find this activity, this module helpful for you, and we hope that your soft skills building toolkit is getting richer and more plentiful with tools as you go through these modules. Thanks a lot, and have a great day.